Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Now, the other day I brought you a video over Officer Ronil Singh, who was gunned down by an illegal immigrant in California recently. In that video, I was discussing how Donald Trump thinks that this would have been prevented by a wall. We all know, as I mentioned in the video, that would not be the case. That the bad guys like this would still find a way into this country, thus only hurting the poor and the vulnerable who are trying to seek asylum. That is all Donald Trump's wall would do. Now, I want to sit here for a second, take a few minutes and discuss to you, or with you, what I think is the actual cause for why Officer Singh is no longer with us. What led to this man being gunned down? What led to this wife and child being without a father and without a husband? A brother who has lost his brother, who is obviously torn apart by what happened. A police department that is in mourning for the loss of one of their fellow officers. But I don't believe a wall would have prevented it. But I do believe I have an idea of what led to Officer Singh's murder. And the sheriff of the sheriff's department there in that county in California made it very clear. And I have to agree with him. And that is the sanctuary city laws. These laws have been passed in different states, different cities, especially in California, where they're not allowed, law enforcement's not allowed to hold these people. They're not allowed to, allowed to keep them locked up, to be held over for ICE. That is one of the main problems. Now, I have no problem with people seeking asylum. I have no problem with immigrants coming into the country. But these laws prevent people that law enforcement know are bad people, that law enforcement know have committed violent crimes. But some of these laws in some of these cities prevent them from holding these people over for ICE. Simply on the grounds that they're here illegally. Well, here's the thing. If you come to this country and you commit a violent crime here, you should be deported. Especially if you're not here legally. There should be no reason in the world why somebody with a violent history should be allowed to stay here. I believe there are a lot of reasons for these. I understand that cities aren't being paid back by the federal government for holding these people over, which is putting a strain on their resources sometimes. But sometimes that strain on your resources is less of a problem than the murder of one of your citizens. I believe there's a lot of things we could do to secure the border that don't involve building a wall, destroying the environment, and harming those who are just trying to seek asylum and getting away from the violence to our south. The longer they sit at that border, the more the cartels become a threat to these people. The more hopeless they feel, the more likely they are to turn to the cartels to get smuggled in to this country. And what will some of those people do to get smuggled into this country? They'll be drug mules. Or they'll come here and carry out other business for the cartel. So, think about it, folks. Think about it. I know many of my liberal friends are going to hate me for this video. And many of my liberal followers, who knows, they may unsubscribe. But the fact is, the sanctuary city laws are leading to these deaths. Not a lack of a wall that these bad guys would just go around anyway. But law enforcement has to have an ability to arrest and help hold these people over so ICE can deport them if they've committed violent crimes. And that is it. Now, I think these laws could be amended to where they make sense. You know, where if it's a nonviolent offender, you know, they jaywalked or some BS like that, something minor, sure. Don't hold them over for ICE. That's stupid if it's something minor. But if they've committed a rape, a murder, an assault, a physical assault on somebody, especially assault with a deadly weapon or robbery, anything like that, they should be held over for ICE and deported. Now, I'm not saying they don't deserve due process. I think everybody in the world deserves due process, and so I think they should have to go through the court system. But I don't think they should be left on the streets. If they are known to law enforcement to have committed a crime, especially a violent crime, they should not be on our streets. Anyhow, this has been the Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck, and I'll see you down the road. Expect some changes here in 2019 for the channel. I'm really trying to work on my editing and stuff like that. I'm trying to make things better, trying to get more viewers to the show, more subscribers, because the more subscribers we have, the more chances we have here at succeeding here at the Big Ranch Show. As well, check the description below. There's a link to my Patreon. It's only $1 a month if you can afford to do that. I'm just trying to raise a little bit of money so I can do more for the channel. And if that's okay with you, check it out. If not, let me know what you think about it. Other ways to improve the channel, please let me know. And anyhow, I'll see you down the road.